We've got the Cabin Fever Sports Show coming up and the barbecue contest taking place alongside the Cabin Fever Sports Show. So I went to my personal barbecue expert, which is Bill West. He is the host of Grate TV and at BBQTricks.com. And Bill wanted to talk to you about, especially for people first time competing in a barbecue contest. I wanted to get some thoughts from you.
You know what? And great checking back with you, Kurt. You know, it's not, one thing I'd say is if it's a first-time thing, you just want to remember it's going to be a learning experience. I deal with a lot of guys that just almost do this almost as a profession, and it doesn't have to be that difficult. The first thing you want to do is make sure you're having fun with it, and don't get too serious and stay safe. If you want to win, don't get too drunk either.
That's probably a good idea, yeah.
But you were saying that offline you got chicken, ribs, brisket, and maybe even an appetizer.
Yeah, and the appetizer is an open category. It's appetizer of your choice.
Yeah, sometimes that's a real common thing in cook-offs to do. They call it an anything but one of the meats. And I would just encourage you to keep it simple and find one of your special recipes that you might have that you can make plenty of. The last thing you want is to leave people, if it's a people's choice kind of thing with people voting, you want to make sure everybody gets some, and then work the room a little bit and make sure everybody gets some and vote. So that's kind of a people working thing. As far as like chicken, ribs, and brisket, people use chicken thighs a lot because the good news is it's affordable and it's really hard to mess up. It's very forgiving, so chicken thighs are great. If you want to, a little secret, a trick is to try and create bite-through chicken skin, which is a process of like you peel off the skin, you actually scrape some of the fat from underneath the skin, and you reapply it. I got a real detailed video at the YouTube channel worth checking out there, how to make bite-through chicken skin. For ribs, make sure you peel off the membrane on the back and give it a really good cook. You don't want it officially fall off the bone, just a little bit less than fall off the bone. So it's you take a bite and it gives you like a gentle tug. That's like what the judges look for. I personally love fall off the bone, but for competition, that's what those judges look for. And then for brisket, you just got to give it a good long cook. And my final advice on the cooking part of it is don't open the lid too much of your cooker. Let it cook. If you keep opening up the lid, peeking at it, showing off the meat, you lose about 15 minutes of cook time every time you open that lid. So
yeah, because the temperature comes down.
Exactly. So you just a couple of tips to kind of keep it simple, but give you a little basic edge on having not done it before. So
here's something about our barbecue contest that is maybe a little different from others. Barbecue sauce is allowed in this one. So am I better off just going with, I like this particular brand, or should I try to be fancy and come up with my own?
Well, here's the thing with judges, and most of the cook-offs that I participate in is there is a sauce allowed. And a lot of times you just use, for competition, a very light layer of the sauce. On the ribs, you want to glaze those things up to make them just that first bite, you want it to pop for them. So I think the general rule or the general advice is judges like sweet. So, find and even some of the mainstream sauces, the crafts, it clicks in the judges' brains. They just kind of like that taste that they grew up with.
Yeah, it's funny about that. I go to the store and I get different barbecue sauces and try them, and then I go back to Kraft or something like that, and I'm like, yeah, this is just as good.
Yeah, so, or take a Kraft and tweak it a little bit to make it your own. Sometimes that doesn't sound as fun as coming up with your homegrown recipe. So, you want to first and foremost make it fun and be proud of what you're putting out there. And sometimes people just don't like the idea of using a over-the-counter thing, but it's done all the time. I know there's a commercial sauce available. It may be hard to get, called Blues Hog, that a lot of competition guys use all the time, and it's supposed to be really good.
Well, do you lose points if you just open the sauce and tell them that you made it?
Yeah, they don't know unless there's a talking part of the competition. Usually it's a blind turn-in, so yeah.
I mean, that's the old trick from years and years of family get-togethers, right? Run to the grocery store and pretend you made it yourself.
Yeah, or chop up some onions and put it in there and cook it in, and it has that little homemade taste.
So, Bill, before we let you go, I hear you're writing a book in addition to the show and the website.
Yeah, in fact, if you want a copy, I just put together a little booklet at BBQtricks.com. You go there, and I've got about 20 recipes of sides and salads, which there might be a good, or sides and sauces, that there might be a good anything but appetizer recipe in there that would work for the competition there. And that's a total freebie, and coming in the spring, a full-blown barbecue blueprint book. So I invite your listeners to check out BBQtricks.com, BARBECUE tricks.com, and check it out. It's free.
Yeah, and the barbecue blueprint, not just for competition, for home cooks too.
Yeah, it's kind of like helping you bridge the gap, cook like a competition person, but really there's certain things that you do in competition that you may not really want to do in the backyard. Like I said, I like a fall-off-the-bone kind of rib, but the judges don't. There's things that you probably would prefer in the backyard, but it can use a lot of the same techniques.
Yeah, at home you might not want to go through all the trouble of removing the chicken skin.
Exactly.
Yeah, all right. Bill, best of luck with it.
And last note,
yeah,
take a fire extinguisher out there.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Sometimes it's part of the rules. I don't know what the individual rules are, but be prepared to have that.
Yeah, anything else that people tend to forget when they're going out for their first barbecue competitions?
Yeah, I mean, for the first time, there's a whole, I've got a list of like a checklist on the website of things you need for the first time, but it depends on the competition. Some big organizations require a fire extinguisher, and of course you're going to want to have some way of keeping all the stuff clean and sanitary. So for me, that's, I get one of those big orange Coleman coolers with some sanitary water, like bleach water, to clean down the areas and keep it extra sanitary. So make sure you have all the dishwashing stuff you need out there.
All right, very good. And if we end up cooking up some good stuff during the competition, I'm sure you guys at Barbecue Tricks, you're on Facebook and everything. You'd like to see it too.
Facebook would love to, and you can tag your photos, #GratePlate, GratePlate.
Yeah, like grate, like on a grill.
Exactly.
See, nothing gets by me, Bill.
We work hard on these little wordings.
Yep. All right, Bill, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Kurt. Good luck.